Previously on the Workshop Between Worlds.
I will be so excited when this whole thing is finished, so I can actually organize.
Oh no, oh no.
We are gonna sound. There's so much room in here. We see the end. Soon, all of this will be in this.
And now the stunning conclusion of Workshop Renovation.
I realized I wasn't filming any of that. To catch you up, I've done part of a drawer. There's this little bit left that this kind of almost fits, but I'm gonna fill the rest of the drawers with like the pieces that I have just to see what scraps I have left over to do the miscellaneous bits. Oh, you missed this part. This one is a lot harder than the other. That one just sort of peeled up. This is like adhesed. There we go. Oh no, there we don't go. Do I just leave this and just cover it up? I might. This is a small one, so maybe I do the bigger ones with the big pieces. I'm so worried I'm not gonna have enough again. What the hell is that? This is that moment in the horror movie where I touch it and then become infected by something alien. This is what it is. See you around. Okay, I think that might be all that I can do. She has where she can go. But you know, it's really satisfying. If there's one thing to know about me, it's that I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I think it looks like a little crow. Come on, little crow baby. Help me! Now it's a smaller crow. Now it's an iguana. There may be a day when we retreat in the face of yellow plaid, but it is not this day. So my phone died in the middle of it, and now I'm getting ready for bed, but I used pretty much every scrap I had, and we covered those drawers. So good night, and I will show you them in the morning. It's a very Frankenstein job, but it's a nice little pop. Definitely makes me happier than the yellow plaid. So ideally, today's plan is to tackle the frame. I'm a little nervous because I feel like it needs kind of like miter angles to make the frame work. I'm also thinking maybe instead of like getting little corner bits, so I could just do like straight cuts and then have a little corner bit as like a decorative thing. We'll see. And then tackling this corner with a shelving unit for the battery. And then I think I can put things away. Oh, and I think I might just go with like silicone for down here, because the whole point is to stop things from falling in it. I worry that if I use wood filler, it's just going to be such a strong contrast, and I don't necessarily have a stain that matches this quite, and you can't really see it from here. So if I just like fill this up with a river of silicone maybe, then things won't fall back there. This part is gonna be exciting. Oh, frick. Just a little too small of an opening. Okay, I adjusted the height of that middle shelf. We'll try again. So I ended up not filming any of that, but the shelf height adjustment worked out pretty well. Now it's off the floor and off my workbench. And I got an extra little bit of storage on the top should I need. Okay, so I went to Lowe's and tried to find some, is it called finials? I don't know, whatever those little like decorative things are. Like decorative squares that I could put in the corners of the pegboard, and I really wanted some sort of like carved flower or something in it, but they only had like 2 of each kind. So I realized I'm gonna try and make them out of this, just do like little slices of this and then paint something on them, and we'll see if that works out. Okay, so I've got these little things. They are strangely not all the same size, but it's good enough. I'm gonna try and put them in the corners and paint little things on them maybe. But first, we gotta paint them green. So one of the things that I got from Value Village was this. I use my phone for filming, so I can't listen to music on it. So I got myself an old school CD player, and we will rock out to the contents of my college CD case. This is the part where Gandalf's in the library. Shortcut to mushrooms. Okay, so I ended up being out of silicone, even though I have 2 tubes. They were both dry. So I ended up going with wood filler, and I really hope that I can sand it to look nice and then paint it, cause it's a hot mess right now. Hey, so this is what's going on. I have been sick, but I kept testing for COVID and it was all negative. And today is the first day that I'm feeling better and I got a positive test result. So either I had COVID this whole time or somehow I was sick and then also now got COVID, which is really frustrating. The Bean has been at his Nana's house for about almost a week just to keep him out of the house because Lee had it too, and now we don't know when he's going to be able to come back. So it's just, I'm frustrated. And I was supposed to go to work on Monday because we have to install an exhibit, and I can't exactly do that remotely. So I'm just sad. So I'm going to sit here and sadly paint some flowers. Yeah.
Hell yeah, clothespins.
So, as much as I have tried to space it out correctly, I think there may be issues. I know I should have put the corners on first, but I'm impatient and I wanted to do something while the paint was drying. So we may have to add little patches or we may have to adjust before the glue dries, but we'll see. I scooched that one over a little bit because it seems like it can be salvaged. I think these two at the bottom are just a bit too off, which is odd, but we may be able to cut little pieces of trim with the pieces I have left and fill those holes if we need to. Tomorrow, we put the flowers up, see how that looks. Yay! Good morning, ladles and jelly spoons. I am realizing that I am very angry today. Not actually, but I have a hangry face here, a little monster face here, and I'm kind of delighted by that. Hopefully you can hear me all the way over there. Let me project like a human. Like a trained individual? Yes? Trained performance individual? So today, dare I say, it might be the last day of this thing. If I am not too optimistic, as I am wont to be. So things to do. We have to check and see if the wood glue held. We have to glue the flowers. We have to paint the little gully of wood filler. And then I think it's just organize and put things away. Which sounds doable to me. I don't know, what do y'all think? What do you think?
Huh?
All right, let's do this. Hello. Hi. Fingers crossed. I mean, that's because I put it directly on top of screws, so it's a little uneven. But hopefully the rest of it will hold. Trouble on the edge of the better do you hold and meet me by your head. Hey! Not by his own power, at least for now. There are some little drips here, and I may be able to like sand them off and paint over them if I feel like it. I'm not pressed. I'm honestly loving having random pieces of wood around because every single time I'm like, I need something this size to prop something up. I got it. Thank you, neighbors. Oh, for clarification, depending on what order these things come out in, my neighbors are the ones who gave me that giant pile of wood. That's why. Okay. Oh, this is a fun angle. Time to see how badly I messed up the dimensions of these corners. Yeah. As you can see, there's a little space here and here. And I can probably just cut a piece of trim here and like a little sliver of trim there to make it meet. So, shouldn't be too much of a problem. This is my worst one, and it's going to be behind the chop saw. That one's only off on the top. Oh my god. Old person sounds. This one does too. Like a shin, almost. I need to cut something, but I don't want to break out the saw. Oh, right. I am that dad who's like, oh, we might need this piece of wood. Yeah, we do. Perfect. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, is I am putting this little extra layer of something here so that it is the same height as the side with the screw, so that it should be flat across, and then thus actually sticks flush rather than just like sitting on the screw. So yeah, like that. Tape. Ow. Okay. That's that. I guess I'll wait for those to dry and paint the wood filler now. And then maybe go back and like slice some little trim fillers once those are set. It's like 40-year-old effort scat. Every single night, the same arrangement. I go out and fight the fight. Still, I always feel the strangest estrangement. Nothing here is real, nothing here is right. I've been making shows of trading blows, just hoping no one knows that I've been going through the motions, walking through the part. Nothing seems to penetrate my heart.
It could be witches, some evil witches.
Which is ridiculous, because witches, they were persecuted. Wicca, good and love the earth and women power, and I'll be over here. I've got a theory, it could be bunnies. So as you may have noticed, I have purchased new brushes because I absolutely destroyed all the other ones. Here and over here. Those are my new brushes, and contrary to what it may appear, I'm going to take better care of them than I did my old brushes. So, lessons learned. Care for your tools, because then you don't have to check them and buy new ones. Okay. I feel like I'm... Oh, what's his name? Australian guy. What's the Australian guy's name? Crikey. There's a crocodile. Steve Irwin! No. Yes, Steve Irwin. Bill Irwin is a clown. Professional clown. Yes. So, I feel like Steve Irwin is like, crikey, we have found this massive airplane cable. But now we have reached the very exciting and a little overwhelming part of putting things away. So first thing I'm going to do is try and sort things into categories. Hopefully that will make sense, and then I can kind of see what I have space for on the board versus in the unit itself versus on the storage shelves. And the storage shelves are probably going to be their own thing. Yeah, because this video is already a million years long. And so that might be his own video of figuring out cute little ways to store all my weird, like, my little tiny skull collection and my wire butterfly and my moss. That will go over on these shelves at some point. Yeah, let's do it. I wonder your spell, nothing I can do. You just took my soul with you. Got some canted Hitchcock framing here. Oh God, there's panic. I'm not sure what I want to do with this, because it's actually super important to me, because I remember when I was little, my dad swears he never did this that often, but I remember sitting at my dad's workbench watching him make things, and this was something that I always played with. This isn't his, my brother has his, but I knew that as soon as I had a workshop, I wanted one of these, because it's just, and of course super useful. The best place to put it, unfortunately, is where it blocks a drawer. So I'm gonna think about that. Yeah, I'll put it with the clamps for now. Ow, 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 ow. Woodworking tools. I should go, but I follow you like a man possessed. Y'all. Of course, all the way down at the bottom of everything. Oh, these melodies. Now. So many of these things are either my grandfather's or my father's. And so I'm like opening these things being like, wait, what's in here? Look at this. How beautiful. How beautiful is this? The question is, how many of these things do I need? That's not the question for today. Wish I could trust that it was just this once, but I must do what I must. And then you have things you've inherited where you're like, I'm not 100% sure what this is, but it looks nifty. Like, this is all some amazing, and it's messy right now because it fell on the floor, but like X-Acto knives and blades and like tweezers, and then these little pieces of wood that I'm assuming help support things in some way, but I'm not 100% sure. So, things to research. Half of the fun of this is just figuring out where I randomly stashed shit to get it out of the way. I'm sure I'll be finding things for months. Every single time I see one of these, I think, well, it's not a pry bar. Well, this is, but gotta love that wonderful echolalia brain where everything has a quote or a music lyric. We'll sing a happy song. Perfect for today's music choice. Give me something to sing about. all ruined. Now, the question is, do I keep them in piles with like things? Do I put all things that go on the pegboard together? There's so many different ways to categorize this. I'm a librarian and seeing the multiplicity of options is a lot. I'm inclined to do like tools in the tool bench, materials off to the sides, like expendable things. And that might be a good guideline, but previously I also like put tape in here and things, so. There's also a few things in the shed from my bin shed project. Alright, I have to pee. Okay, so pee achieved. I think I'm just gonna start putting things in drawers, and that might give me a better idea of what needs to be done. So my thoughts, possibly screwdrivers and wrenches and pliers, but that might be too much for a drawer. Sharp things, safety, measuring things. This originally was hardware, but I have hardware in a bunch of different places now, so we'll see what's needed. New music. I love how I put all the sharp things right where I need to go the most. So if I saw my leg off during this video, I apologize. Potentially it'd be really exciting content. And I sure would like some sweet company. Maybe tomorrow, what you say? Okay, I think it's time to bite the bullet and put some stuff up on the pegboard. I'm nervous, I'm excited. Let's go. Okay, let's figure out what the hell these things are. Oh, more saws. Now I definitely have at least 2 more hammers. I'm not sure where they are right now, so I'll leave space for them. Is that it right now? I know I've got other things to find. Like I have levels and things to go here. Those are in the shed. And I've got a few more hammers scattered around. That's great. Because then I have room for other things. So then the question is, do I want to put some of my other tools up here? Might be fun. Get to use this little handy dandy thing. We're getting into the stare out into the middle distance portion of our programming. I think she looks real nice. Alright, I'm gonna put things in cabinets, things that I know go in cabinets, and then we'll see what we have left. Oh my. Clampy things. Will you fit? Oh. Drilly things. First, I'm gonna take these off because I definitely scratch my arm on them every single time. Oh look! Whoop. Then I put it back. Drill number 1. Drill number 2. Drill number 3 is in the shed. I always go to Value Village and I'm like, oh, I could get little storage bins. And then I'm like, you don't need any more little storage bins, Megan. You have so many that you don't even know what to do with. I'm wrong. I need more little storage bins. I want to put all the sanding stuff together. I want to put all the string stuff together. I need more bins. I think I may have 3 rotary tools. I'll have to see what I want to do about that. God save my little broken body. Oh man. You would never think that just like cleaning. I feel like I just have like a full body sunburn, but on my muscles. And like, that's great. That is what I want. Because I keep telling to my therapist and my doctors, they're like, oh, do you exercise regularly? And I'm like, well, I have a toddler and I do making of things. And sometimes I feel like that's a stretch if I'm like sitting and painting, but like this counts. I went into the shed and found all the things I was missing. I don't know if this is gonna fit where I was gonna put it. Maybe I can go across the top. It can't fit vertically. So I might have to move some things around. Let's see. Yeah, I think I just have to move a few things down. I wanna move you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I'm gonna move you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. See? Yeah, she's alright. I still need more pegboardy things, but at least now I know what kinds I want to get. So I've got this hammer. I've got these 2 plier things that I want to hang up, but I don't really have the right peggy-boardy things yet. That's the technical term. Peggy-boardy things. It's so great to be able to take things in and out of that cabinet and not completely lacerate my arm. I'm excited about this. Because I plan to do a bunch of miniatures, and I'm very bad at like tiny things, so I'm thinking this will help me a lot. I have to figure out where to put it though. Gone down to the sump pump of doom. You know, I think these aren't wall tacks. I think these are like upholstery tacks, which is probably why they're not going in quite as smoothly as I'd hoped. I'm gonna see if I can find some real tacks. Nope, that's what I got. So we'll just keep going. Y'all remember this? God blam dang it, blam it. Is this beadboard just really intense? Okay. These tacks are not the best for this. I'm gonna come back to that. Let's see how the flowers did. Yes, my baby. What do you think? I know you probably can't really see them from there, but it's nice. I did find in my cleaning up a bit these pieces of trim, so I may not have to cut as much as I expected, but like it's just tiny pieces, half the size of this. So I shouldn't even have to sacrifice some of the longer pieces of trim I have just in case I need them in the future. I do have tacks. They were just in there. Let's try those. Of course, you're seeing none of this. Found it. There we go. A little bit of past me and a little bit of the bean in here. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a break for dinner and things and and make a list of all the things that there are left to do. It's not very much, at least for this section of the project. The rest of this place needs a little more TLC. Okay, so I think... Let's get you back. Right. Find your light, Megan. You're an actor. Okay, so I think what I want to do today is cut those little pieces of trim and paint them. Unfortunately, I don't think I can use the tiny pieces of trim and cut those down to size because I realized trying to do them in the chop saw, I don't have enough control or to be able to like hold it in place while chopping, so not safe. So I'm just going to use one of the bigger ones and try and get them down to size.
It flewed.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I think we have reached the limits of how small I can cut on this thing.
Pray for me. Last thing I'll have to paint green today. I kind of almost want to just dunk it like people do with pottery. Bye-bye, green paint. Hello, everyone. It's done, sort of. I still have a few little things left to do, like add clamps, maybe add labels to the drawers. But I don't have any money until the end of the month, so I figured I'd close out this chapter and get started on part 2. Which is gonna be this madness over here, the shelves. That was cool. I do not think I could have done it in the time that I did without having shipped my son away to his grandparents for about a week because Lee was sick and then I was sick. I was able to just kind of zone in and flow and hyper focus, and it was so incredible. I don't get to do it very often where I can just like sink in for hours and then just emerge for food and things. So it was really nice. Oh, pause. I forgot. Very important prop. Well, I can't find it. I wonder if I shipped off Matthias with the book. But I'll insert footage of it here. But I have this very distinct memory of growing up and reading the Berenstain Bears, the one with the messy room. And Mama Bear gets so frustrated with the mess everywhere, and then Papa Bear comes up and says, "Oh, I can build things to help you organize." And one of those things that Sister suggests is a pegboard. And ever since then, I was like, I will have a pegboard one day. It is my dream to have a pegboard. And lo, this is me fulfilling my childhood dream. I was talking to my therapist about it, and realizing that all my favorite Berenstain Bears books are ones where they implement a system. They have a problem and then they implement a system and the system goes perfectly. And hooray, they have a more successful and wonderful life. And I know that that's not always how it works, but that's kind of how it feels. Like, I don't know if you saw yesterday me being able to actually find the tools that I was looking for. Sometimes 1 or 2 tries because they were in a different drawer than I usually had put them in. But yeah, it's nice. It makes me feel real good. And there was a lot of like pivoting in the moment on this project too, where like sometimes it was like, cool, I gotta buy the perfect thing. And then other times it's like, let's just see what I have. And I really like that balance of finding the right thing and then also ingenuity to make the right thing happen. So this was great. I had a great time. I hope you all did too. So now let's talk about lessons learned, and I think they're probably fairly obvious to y'all. One is a place for everything and everything in its place. This is, of course, something that I knew, something that I deeply love, but does not always happen when I'm just like moving from thing to thing to thing to thing. Things get scattered and are not put back in the place that they're supposed to go, or I get new things and they just kind of accumulate around. So this was a wonderful kind of reset moment to give everything that I have a place. Lesson number 2. Take care of your tools so you don't have to throw them away and buy new ones. Exhibit A, the brushes. I have used so many brushes over my last bunch of projects and then just kind of left them or didn't clean them properly. And so I had to chuck a whole bunch of brushes during this process. But I got new ones and hopefully I have learned to wash them or don't necessarily use them for glue or polyurethane. Yeah. So take care of your tools. And this last lesson is something that like nearly made me cry while reading Adam Savage's book, Every Tool's a Hammer. And it was an entire chapter called Sweep Up Every Day. And it talked about how working in your workshop is kind of like a prayer. It's like your meditative space, which it really is for me. And so like setting the stage for the best possible kind of contemplative experience almost while making is really important. So sweeping up and then you come in the next day and you're like, cool, I am in my temple. I am in my sacred space. And I am ready to do something creative as opposed to coming in and being like, oh God, all this sawdust everywhere. I gotta clean up right now or I'm just gonna like tramp sawdust all over the house because I'm just gonna do things on top of it. But I love that idea of a workshop being like your sacred space. And I'm really gonna try and use that idea as inspiration moving forward as I work with the rest of this. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it inspired you to do some making yourself. And please like, subscribe, and I will see you around the workshop. Bye.